Now, I'm doing the flat keys in book 2 as 2 separate videos. One was the theory of it, which was the last video. And before doing this one, you should review that one if you need to. But here I'm going to just play through the flat keys. And I'm going to say the name of the key and how many flats. And that's the way I would have you, if you were practicing these at home and then coming back for a lesson, you would play through the flat keys and say the name of the key and how many flats. That's all you need to know. And if you remember with the sharp keys, we started with C on the 3rd fret of the 5th string. Now we're starting with the same C. You can hear it's the same note on the 8th fret of the 6th string, starting with the 2nd finger. And you can see the finger patterns are the same on the 6th string as they are on the 5th string. So we're starting with the key of C, no flats. Play along with me. Move up a 4th, key of F with 1 flat. Down a 5th to B flat with 2 flats. E flat with 3 flats. A flat with 4 flats. D flat with 5. G flat with 6 flats. And C flat with all 7 flats. Now, how easy is that? It's very similar to the sharp keys, but we're going the opposite direction. In the sharp keys, we started at the 3rd fret and went up to the 9th fret. Here we're starting at the 8th fret and going down to the 2nd fret. So we're moving down the neck, what I call down the neck. And in flat keys, we're moving in the intervals of 4ths and 5ths, but we're moving up a 4th, down a 5th, up a 4th, down a 5th, up a 4th, down a 5th, up a 4th. In the sharp keys, we moved from the key of C down a 4th to G, up a 5th to D, down a 4th, up a 5th, down a 4th, up a 5th, down a 4th. So it's the same intervals, but the opposite direction. And so that's, and it's a no-brainer because you're just doing the same finger pattern. So when you get to the thick of the sharp keys, like key of D with the flat keys, key of D with 5 flats, you don't really have to know the name of each of those flats if you know this pattern. They're automatically there, right? Or the key of C flat with all 7 flats. But that one's pretty easy because you just say C flat, D flat, E flat, F flat, and so on. They're all flats. So that's the flat keys. And but what, again, I would look at the on the page here that says flat keys, and it shows all the keys written out. And I would take a blank sheet of paper and see if you can write them out without looking at these, and then check with these keys and see if you did it correctly. And basically, again, you're starting with the key of C, and it's 2 tetrachords, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. The C tetrachord becomes the 2nd tetrachord, C, D, E, F, and the F is the octave, so it's the same as the first, F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F. So that's the first flat key with B flat. And the new flat is always the fourth tone of the new tetrachord that we're building. So, and then we take that tetrachord and move it into the second tetrachord position. So we have F, G, A, B flat. And you might think this is sort of backwards, but then the B flat is the first tone, and you just go a whole step from that, which is C, and then a whole step from that, which is D, and then E would be a whole step, so we have to flat the E to make that, again, B flat, C, D, E flat, and so on. So you should be able to write them out. You're just making one new tetrachord with each new key, but instead of making it the second tetrachord, the new tetrachord is the first tetrachord, and the second tetrachord is from the previous key. So if you study it, you'll see that and try to understand it. And that's, to me, the best way to understand going from one key to another key, adding a flat or adding a sharp, is to understand how the tetrachords work within those keys, the sharp keys and the flat keys. And it's just like I said, everything in the sharps is opposite in the flats. In the sharps, the second tetrachord became the first tetrachord of the new key. In the flats, the first tetrachord becomes the second tetrachord of the new key. So it's just the opposite. And it's very interesting. And you'll understand it, and you might say, well, what am I going to do with this? You know, but it's really important to understand what keys are. And that's part of the caged thing that we're doing. You know, when we did the key of C, we have a 1 chord, and then C, D, E, F. The fourth tone is the 4 chord, and then C, D, E, F, G. The fifth tone is the 5 chord, and that's the key of C with chords. Those are the primary chords. Now there are 7 chords in the key of C, but we're doing the 3 major chords, which are the primary. So in most songs, like folk songs, country songs, whatever, you're primarily going to have those 3 major chords. Now, you know, it varies depending on the song. But, and then the next key was the key of A, which we've already done. And then the 1 chord was A, the D chord was, the 4 chord was D, and then the 5 chord was E7. So, and in the key of C again, the 1 chord, C, F. And you can see they have the same relationship. You can hear that, but they're different keys. So it's important to understand what different keys are. And this is just some necessary theory that anyone who plays any instrument eventually should know. But you don't have to know it, you know, to learn a song, but it's very helpful. So just, you know, keep that in mind. This may seem very technical, and some people don't like theory. They don't really want it. They don't see a need for it. And I don't really impose a lot of theory in these books. But what I do put in, like this, I feel like it's essential that everyone needs to know a little bit of theory, okay? So like the video and subscribe, and like my Facebook page, John Hedger Guitar Studio. Thank you so much.